Next. By now, you probably know my stance on global warming, but if you're, just stumble across and you're sitting there in your underpants watching TV, let me explain. The Earth has warmed. I don't think that there's anywhere near enough conclusive evidence to prove that Miami is going to be under, 20 feet of water anytime soon unless we all start panicking immediately. But I do believe that global warming has become more about politics and the redistribution of wealth than some altruistic notion of saving the planet for some people. And today, the real story is that the most unlikely of organizations, PETA, a group that I literally have nothing in common with, PETA, has helped make my point even more apparent today. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that PETA, not really a fan of this show. I mean, I like to eat a nice pink-in-the-middle filet stuffed with ham topped with chicken while wearing a full leather bodysuit. I do. I'm wearing a leather belt right now. But thanks to global warming, PETA and I, tonight, have some common ground. In a letter to Al Gore yesterday, PETA nicely explained to him that the single best way for an individual to fight global warming is to become a vegetarian. In fact, according to the United Nations, an organization that Al Gore is usually quite fond of citing, quote, raising animals for food generates more greenhouse gases than all of the trucks and the cars in the world combined. That's not from PETA, that's from the UN. But it's not just them. University researchers have also determined that switching to a vegan diet has more of an impact on global warming than switching your car from a Camry to a Prius. Now, Mr. Gore, I understand. You can't change your carbon footprint easily. I mean this. You do have to fly around and give speeches. A lot of those panic speeches are really good. Anyway, but what about your meat footprint? Seriously, if you honestly, and I mean this sincerely, the key word here is honestly. If you honestly believe that global warming is the most important issue the world faces, bigger than terrorism, bigger than AIDS, bigger than hunger, then why haven't you started eating veggie burgers and drinking soy milk? I hear it's yummy. PETA's letter says it best. Quote, one good way to hush Rush Limbaugh and his ilk, I think they're talking about me, is to act as a role model in the fight against global warming and becoming personally a vegetarian. Al, I couldn't agree more with PETA. I don't think I've ever said that. I agree with PETA. If you want to insulate yourself from criticism, then don't be a hypocrite. Live the life you preach. But this isn't just about Al Gore. It's about all of the people who champion drastic lifestyle changes without leading by example. And since most of them love to use panic and fear as a motivational tool, I thought we'd give them a little taste of their own medicine tonight. Saying. Matt Prescott, PETA's vegan campaign manager. Matt, what's the deal? What's the beef?
Well, the beef is that all of the livestock in America produce about 130 times as much waste as the human population of America. Where do you think all that goes? It goes into our land, it goes into our rivers, it goes into the air. And so bad that in California, women living downwind of a dairy farm were found to be having miscarriages from the toxic fumes coming from the dairy farm.
Okay. There's a 400-page report that came out last year from the UN called Livestock's Long Shadow. Why do you suppose the global warming people are completely ignoring this?
You know, like most politicians, Gore is beholden to his contributors. He's beholden to high-paid lobbyists like those from the meat industry It's probably
so
one
Frank
reason.
Perdue is behind this?
Yeah, it's probably one reason why.
Because I think that's baloney.
Well, farmed animals are exempt from all federal laws protecting them from cruelty. Almost all farmed animals. That's probably one reason why. It's, I imagine that for Gore, admitting that the meat industry is horrible for the environment is probably just too inconvenient a truth.
So what do you think about an inconvenient truth? Because that's nowhere in there.
One problem with Gore's solutions is that he doesn't offer anything that's accessible to people. Most people can't afford a $20,000 Prius or expensive energy-saving light bulbs. He doesn't offer people the chance to go vegetarian or the suggestion. It's free. It's something everybody can do. There's vegetarian options at every grocery store and restaurant. It's the most accessible way and the most effective way to help curtail global warming.
Okay. Are there any global warming activists? Because you know what? One guy I actually can't believe I'm saying this either tonight. My gosh, I've agreed with Rosie O'Donnell and PETA. I mean, it's
a banner day for
Jerry Falwell. I agreed with him today. I mean, I think I'm going schizophrenic.
It's a banner day.
It is. I have respect for Leonardo DiCaprio because I think he lives the lifestyle until I found out about the vegan thing. Is he a vegetarian or a vegan?
I believe he's vegetarian. He may be vegan. I know there are a lot of others. Joaquin Phoenix is a vegan. Woody Harrelson is a vegan. The list goes on and on.
All right. So you've got some vegans out there. Is there anybody that could have the credibility to talk about global warming?
Well, if Al Gore went vegetarian, he certainly would be a good candidate. So many people listen to him that if he were to suggest people the fact that going vegetarian, simply just cutting the meat out of your diet, is the best way to help the environment, which scientists now know is true, then he could really have a major influence. And the fact that he doesn't suggest that is a pretty big problem.
Okay, now is there a way to find out my meat footprint? Because I imagine my meat footprint is enormous.
Well, let's see. We know that the average meat eater uses about 4,000 gallons of water a day, and the average vegetarian about 300. So over a year, I guess you probably use about 1.5 million gallons of water, and I probably use about maybe 10,000 or something, 100,000.
Sure.
So
is there a way to offset my meat footprint? Can I buy like protein points?
Well, you can go vegetarian, or you can stop eating meat, or you can eat less meat.
No.
Oh, come on.
That's gonna. Okay, serious question. Is there like a free range? Can you just say, I'm going to do the free range thing and have that count?
Well, unfortunately, the term free range doesn't really mean anything in America. It's just a marketing label.
I'd say we let the cows loose, and then we have to go hunt them for ourselves.
People can go to our websites, goveg.com. They can learn more about vegetarianism, and they can get the recipes that we offer to cook Gore, like faux fried chicken and collard greens and apple pie.
Stop. I haven't eaten yet. Now I'm starving. Matt, thanks a lot. That is our real story tonight. And if you'd like to read more about this, visit glennbeck.com and click on the real story button. By the way, you can also send us your own pictures of meat-eating global warming activists. Just to post on the website, I'm just saying. Email them to pictures@glennbeck.com. Coming up next, an